What up, though? This your boy Mike D, host of Wrestling from the 313. And today's is a special episode. This is our 10th episode of Wrestling from the 313. And not only that, this is our first guest that is outside of the US. He's representing the UK. He is the promoter of the Off the Chain wrestling promotion in the UK, Bam Page. Welcome to the 313. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So what's the sports scene before we get into wrestling? What's the sports scene looking like in the UK right now?
Sports rules the country, doesn't it? In the UK, it's everything, football, soccer, and then obviously you got, it's big over here for boxing, MMA. Obviously, the NFL is absolutely huge now. There's been talks of us having our own team for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So, it's just sports is huge. Sports rules this country. It always has.
Right. So, how optimistic are you that the UK is going to get an NFL team?
Very. I mean, I can see a lot of the ways that it can be hard, especially for the US teams. But then again, you think that it's 8 hours flight from the UK to the US, roughly. I think if you fly from, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're flying from New York to LA to play football, surely that's roughly the same distance. I mean, there's not much in that, I don't think.
Yeah.
Flight-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, what you might be able to tell me, but is it about 7 hours from LA to New York?
I think from New York, I think it's like 3 hours.
Oh, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's quite short then.
Yeah, so like if it's like right now it's like 2:00 here. Yeah. I think it's like 11 o'clock in LA right now.
Okay, so so the flight isn't that long then from LA to New York?
No.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah. So that's the massive reason then, isn't it? Is because we're so far away. I think it's just that's the only thing really that's stopping it. Or maybe if it was a little bit closer, but I think eventually there will be something. I mean, it's huge over here. Every time they come over here, we've got the Jaguars who call Wembley home. When they're over here. I think it's definitely huge. Every time we fill out Wembley with every game, so it's 90,000 fans every game every year. So it's just it's non-stop. It's huge, and we definitely need our own team.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And then it's like with the success of having the football games in the UK, it is just expanded to other countries too. So I could see within maybe 5 years if the NFL decides to expand. I can see the UK being one of those teams that they consider.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, obviously, we've got Germany. Germany have the NFL games. Obviously, Mexico have the NFL games as well, don't they? So, but yeah, man, it's such a huge sport, and I think if they can make it work. I mean, there was talks about the Jaguars actually coming over here and London being the Jaguars' home completely at one point.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's more it's easier said than done to make it happen. Obviously, that's why it hasn't happened yet. But I think eventually we'll have something definitely.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's kind of like with the NBA, they're talking about expansion with Seattle and Las Vegas, but I've also been hearing too that they've been talking about Mexico City as a possibility too. Yeah. Because Mexico is they're big fans of basketball, so it's kind of the same thing with what the UK is going on with the NFL.
Yeah, that's it exactly. I mean, the NBA has came over here a few times as well, and again, it's filled the arenas wherever they've been. We have the MLB every year as well that fills stadiums. So it's just huge. Sports is huge here and US and all over the world, isn't it? Really, but I think for a lot of the US sports now, it's definitely time to branch out and have sort of another country or a close ally represent a sport in one of the leagues. Definitely, because obviously baseball and the NFL being predominantly American, but if you come over to the UK, it's huge over here. We just don't get it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like the Super Bowl, even in the UK, when the Super Bowl's on, it stops the world. Like the
yeah,
UK just stops and watches the Super Bowl. It's
yeah,
huge, but we just for some reason it just doesn't get recognised. Obviously, this country is all about football, soccer,
yeah,
which is obviously that's our game, isn't it? But yeah, make no mistake, the American sports over here is huge.
yeah, most definitely. Well, we definitely keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that the NFL finally give you guys a franchise, because
Yeah,
it's about
hopefully,
time.
definitely.
All right, so real quick, just talk about how you got started with pro wrestling, like who, what got you into pro wrestling real quick.
Yeah, so I'm 29. Been watching wrestling obviously since I was 6 years old. Watching all that. Managed to catch the back end of the Attitude Era. And grew up and loved it mostly through the Ruthless Aggression era when I was around 9 or 10.
Yeah,
But it's something. I mean, I've done wrestling training and stuff like that, and I enjoyed it. But life always got in the way, and I never really stuck to it. But then it just, for the schedule wise, it just felt right for me to be able to start a promotion, and I was in that position in my life to financially support starting a promotion. So that's how we got started. Really, obviously, you don't do it unless you love it, do you? So it's just one of them, bro.
cool, cool. So who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Growing up, it was always Dave Batista. He was
Okay,
he was when I was around 9, 10. Like he was the guy. So back into 2005, Dave was the guy. So yeah, Dave Batista was definitely up there. Um, yeah, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie
yeah,
Guerrero was definitely up there, man. But obviously you got the Rattlesnake. Stone Cold and The Rock, and there's so many. All the greats really. But yeah, well, when I was younger, I always wanted to be Batista. I mean, there's even a few. What's what's your audience like, bro? Are they bothered about name dropping or? I mean, cause
um. The audience here, you talking about as far as like the wrestling crowd when the wrestlers come
yeah,
out?
just
Oh, it's
wrestlers, yeah,
crazy. It's crazy.
yeah,
Like depending on who it is and depending on like when Cody Rhodes,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was when I went to SummerSlam, and when
yeah,
he came out, the crowd just went nuts. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with Seth Rollins. And yeah, if you're over with the crowd is really
yeah,
gonna definitely show you that support.
yeah, definitely, yeah,
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like you said that you got into wrestling on the back end of the Attitude Era.
yeah.
Like
So yep,
the Attitude Era was like one of the best eras of wrestling. Like I'm 42,
it was,
so I
yeah,
grew up watching Hulk Hogan, the Golden
yeah,
Era, and that was a good era because it put wrestling on the map.
yes,
But when the Attitude Era, I think, is what really got people watching wrestling, because it was
yeah,
also during the time in wrestling where you had the Monday Night Wars with WCW.
yeah,
WCW was doing their thing with the NWO. So WWE had to come up with some stuff to get people talking and get people
yeah,
watching their product. So that's when DX was on the scene, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the Austin era blew up like crazy when
yeah,
the moment he said that speech at the King of the Ring.
yeah.
The
That's
next
it.
night on Monday Night Raw, that's all you saw was Austin 316 signs,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he at one time surpassed Hulk Hogan in merchandise,
yeah,
and that was something we thought nobody would ever do.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Steve, you know, he did so well to reinvent himself so quickly. I mean, when
Yeah,
he got, you know, he got released, what was it, from WCW, and then he cut that, and then Hyman took him on in ECW, and he cut that promo, and that was quite raw. And then, you know, he came over to the WWF, and yeah, man, Steve was cool, and even like the greats. I mean, I watched a documentary the other day, or it might have been just a YouTube video, and it was Ric Flair. Ric Flair was talking about um, how Steve had such a short stint. If you think about it, it was, what was it, 4 years, but he left the biggest impact
yeah, yeah,
in you know in the WWF for such a short time, really.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. So let's get go into your promotion off the chain. Um,
Yep.
so when was it? So when did you start your promotion off the chain?
So I started it. It was in 2022.
Okay,
I set it up and I had the idea behind it. We put our first show on in 2023,
cool.
and it went really really well. Um, you know, we got a lot of love. We're still building our audience now, which is a good thing. You know, we've got some great following online, and we've got our, you know, our regulars definitely that keep up to date with our social medias and stuff like that. But it's very we're very like sort of close knit, and we're a, you know, we're such a community based scene over here in the UK. You know, it's so close together with wrestlers and promoters and stuff like that. We are literally, you know, it's a huge community, so to speak. So everybody from everywhere wants everybody to succeed, and I think that's what's so great. I mean, you get, obviously, you know, with everything, there's a few rivalries and bitterness between a few promotions here and there. That's actually quite real and can get out of hand. But in general, the scene in the UK is very very close knit across the whole country. So it's literally everybody wants everybody to do well, and everybody wants to help out everybody. Even, you know, the local promotions, in some ways, do stick together and promote each other. Even though, you know, as I say, you can get the beef with local promotions and territories and all that. That still goes on a little bit over here, starting to fade out slowly now as everything is growing, and
Yeah,
and everybody's coming together. But yeah, it's got to the point now where, you know, it's getting so big, and everyone is supporting each other over here, promotions wise as well as wrestling wise. So yeah, man, it's big, and it's amazing to be a part of.
sweet. Now, would you say that your promotion does it have more of like a hardcore style or
Yeah, that's
technical?
yeah,
That
yeah,
hardcore. Okay,
yeah. That's the style I'm going for. I mean, one of the first titles I had made for the promotion was the Hardcore Championship. You know,
okay.
so definitely that's again going back to the Attitude Era. That style of hardcore. That's what we would give out, and you know, that's what we put out. Try and stay away from the death match stuff, basically, just for the type of audience we're in front of at the moment. Um, but yeah, we keep it hardcore. And yeah, man. So yeah, definitely hardcore base is where we wanna grow from. Definitely.
Okay. Um, so how many championships does your promotion have so far?
So we've got the OTC heavyweight, we've got the women's championship, and we've got the hardcore championship so far. We're waiting on our tag belts to be made, so they're currently in the works, but we haven't received them yet.
Okay. So the women's wrestling is that hardcore style also?
No, so basically, not every match is hardcore. I mean,
Okay.
obviously it can be, but we're trying to keep the hardcore championship, the hardcore matches.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So that way, then, you know, we've got some women's wrestling, and we've got a bit of everything on the show. But the heartbeat is definitely hardcore for sure.
Okay. Sweet. So like you being a promoter and you know putting your roster together, like
Yeah.
what's one of the things that you look for in a wrestler when you add them to your roster?
To be honest with you, it's other than talent, it's honesty as well, more than anything. You know, the last thing you want being a promoter um, is having dishonest people in your promotion and being around your locker room and stuff like that, man. That can make things toxic, and you know it's not good. But when you're doing a promotion, you're trying the best you can to stick together, and because it's not a one man band, regardless of me being the promoter or not, I'm just the idiot who come up with with the promotion. Do you know what I mean? It's a team effort with your roster, whether you're selling merchandise, you know, whether you're promoting it, no matter what you're doing, it's definitely a team effort. So one of the things, the main thing is definitely honest people. Obviously, with that has got to be the talent and the ability to carry themselves in the ring, no matter what. Obviously, there's different abilities. Of course, there is. You know, some people are better than others. Some people are more experienced than others, and it's important that those matches are always booked efficiently and properly. But yeah, we can cater for everybody in regards to ability as long as it's booked properly and everybody's safe in the ring.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yeah, man, honesty and you know being able to be a team is what I look for.
Sweet, sweet. Now, when you are creating storylines and booking wrestlers for certain matches, do you have like a creative team that you work with, or do you do that on your own?
Again, that's literally if I'm brainstorming, you know, I've got there's guys in the promotion who I can bounce off, and I can text them at 2 a.m. in the morning if I wanted to, and chances are they would respond. Like, so it's one of them. When I book matches, obviously, you know, ultimately it's down to me as a promoter. But again, it's a team effort, so we bounce off each other, and I allow that. Some people don't allow that in their promotions. Some people think that, you know, it's their way or the highway. They're the promoter, so it's you either do what they say or don't bother. Whereas with me, again, it's more of a family thing. It's a team effort, so I bounce off each other. I mean, I let the guys throw ideas at me, and then we can go with that. If their idea is better than mine, happy days. Let's roll with that. Do you know what I mean? We'll scrap my idea, but that's how it works, and that's how you build a show and build a promotion. Really, is by being able to bounce off each other with ideas.
Sweet, sweet. So when you looking for that face of the company, that for
Yeah,
that guy to be your champion, or your face, the
yeah.
guy that you promote on the flyers, what is it that you look for?
Again, that's a bit of a tough one, really. I mean, I love the heavyweights, and to me, like in my mind, that's the wrestling, and that's in regards to a face. Faces can be anybody, really. You know, faces are fan favorites, but you definitely always need that Batman and Bane
Yeah,
in your promotions, and I've got that in my promotion, and they know who they are as well. Um, but again, like it's it's who you can work with the best, and who you feel who can give you the most of what they've got as well in regards to being a face or you know being the heel, you know, so to speak. So it's yeah, the face doesn't have to be the baby face. The face can be the heel.
yeah, right.
So obviously, so at the moment, you know, the face is the heel, and we've got a lot of trust. I put a lot of trust in the heel, who we've got at the moment, who was there obviously from the first show as well. Um, yeah, the guys have got over here. They've got a lot about them, and they know a lot. And I can't not. That's what I'm saying about trust and honesty.
Right.
If they're here because I 100% trust them, so it's one of them. So they know who they are. And yeah, man, it's got a lot of trust in both um, the faces and all the heels across the board, really.
Sweet. So out of all the shows that you've done so far with your promotion, which one would you say is your best one?
But the second one we did in October, that was the best one. Basically, I think we had, it's more responsive with the audience. We had a bigger audience that time round, and I think we was a bit more. We was definitely more organised and stuff, and knew what to expect really, and we had it coming from. But yeah, you won't always get people who are happy with the matches as well. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get guys who will finish the match and they go backstage and they'll be like, "Oh man, that was shit. I wish I did better than that." Or we should have done this instead. But again, that's how it works, and that's how you roll, and that's how you get better. So
Right.
again, the honesty, it's important that we give each other feedback as well as the guys give me feedback. So I always tell the guys to give each other feedback once they finish the matches. If they've seen the match, if the other guys have watched whoever was on before them matches or after them or whatever, give feedback and spread that across the locker room. And if you can't take the constructive criticism really, then again it's like you don't want them people around. Even if they don't agree, they can just say, "Okay, fair enough. I get what you're saying. Okay," but ultimately, I think you need to be able to take that criticism from the guys who you work with and be able to grow from that and take on board. And that's the only way I think you do get better. It would,
Uh, I think we lost him on the feed. Okay. All right. I think we had some technical difficulties. Sorry.
yeah, that's
All
right.
right. Uh, real quick. Another question. Not that I meant to ask you. You being a promoter and starting your promotion. Were there any guys like anybody that is inspired you to be a promoter?
Yeah, obviously Paul Heyman, you know, obviously with the
Yeah.
hardcore and the ECW and stuff, man, that was I love that. I love the ECW again. When I was growing up and I watched wrestling and as I got into it again, I think ECW dropped off and I didn't catch ECW as a kid
Yeah.
really, but then obviously getting older and you obviously you learn and you watch other things and then you watch ECW and stuff. As an adult as well as a teenager, ECW was always the one for me, and I could always go back to that and watch it just because of the raw aspect of it. Obviously,
Yeah.
WWF was it's a commercialized. It was a giant, but to be able to watch that ECW in that sort of arena, and watching that raw, it was all raw. The image was raw. The feel of the promotion was raw. And again, that's what really I liked, and that's what I hope. We can sort of bring that sort of vibe with our promotion as well. That's the vibe we was going for.
Yeah. Yeah. And just listening, when you were telling me, bouncing ideas off your other wrestlers when it comes
Yeah,
to storylines and characters and
yeah,
stuff. That's one of the things that he did. And when you watch old documentaries, when they talk about ECW, that's always one of the things they talked about with Paul Heyman, is that he always listened to ideas and he always gave other wrestlers ideas,
yeah,
and it worked for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah,
like you had talked about Stone Cold when he had left WCW. When he went to ECW, and he was in ECW for a short minute, and Paul Heyman just told him to just do this promo and just tell how you feel.
yeah,
And Steve Austin did that, and that was kind of like the birth of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, man, and that's the thing. You've got to let people have you've got to let people be creative as well, because it's you can be the shot caller all you want, really, and as I said earlier on, you can be your way or the highway, but I think that only leads to self destruct, really, because this person who you're talking to, and this worker, they could have so much amazing ideas in their head, and I think if you try and be um, you know too power crazy, and like some people are, some promoters are, and don't let the talent have their way, and I think then again, I think it's a bit of self destruct, because the talent could have such an amazing idea that would work brilliantly on your show,
Mm.
and you can't shut them down, or you need to talk, you need to bounce back, because that's how it works. That's how I believe it works anyway, and that's how the bigger picture presents itself. Is again repeating myself, but team effort. It's a team effort to do something and get something great going.
Sweet, definitely. So if I was in the UK, took a trip, and I was coming to an off the chain show,
Yeah.
who are some of the stars that I should be on the lookout for, or that I should be watching?
So for our promotion, obviously we've got our heavyweight champion, heavyweight heel, Big Van Wesker. Great guy, great ideas. Solid worker. Honest, and his persona is really well presented. His gimmicks he does are amazing. He's kind of got like the Devil's Rejects kind of gimmick going on.
Okay.
So that's amazing as well. Obviously for what he does. You've got our face, our face of the company, the big guy, Gunnarsson.
Okay.
Got like a Viking gimmick, but he's awesome, man, and yeah, he's a big dude as well. So he definitely need to come see him if you come over as well. But we've also got oh, sorry, I didn't mention earlier, we've also got an independent championship as well.
Okay.
Which I didn't mention earlier, and we've got an independent champion. So yeah, Tyler Davis is our independent champion. Again, if you come over, you need to catch him again. Honest, solid worker. Yeah, can go with anybody, anytime, and yeah, that's why he's a champ.
So is the independent championship like a championship that they can defend in different promotions?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly
Okay.
what it does, and it was defended not so long ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago on another promotion. Again, that promotion's a local promotion. You're probably talking 10 mile down the road, if that. Again, we work together in a lot of ways, and we help each other, and it happens an awful lot in this country. As we're such a small country, really, but we're so connected that. Again, everybody wants to see everybody do well. And as I say, like the wrestling, the British scene in general is so close knit. Obviously, you get your bad eggs, and you get your rivalries and stuff like that. But in general, yeah, we're a close knit community, really, wrestling, and I think that's why it's got so big and over here, and it's getting bigger and bigger every day, man. And there's back when I was watching indie shows in the UK, especially where we live in the Midlands, sort of around Birmingham area, there wasn't many schools at all, really. There was a couple, but in the UK now, there's a wrestling school almost round every corner. So it's huge. It's huge over here. Absolutely, yeah.
Sweet. So real quick, have you ever had the opportunity to work in the US or in another country, or
No.
if you haven't, would if the opportunity allowed itself, would you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to go over and even just experience some promotions in the US, and just see how they run. Just sit backstage and just sit through a few shows, and just see what's what, and things are done in the US. Like, it's definitely definitely on my bucket list. You know, if there's any promotions out there who can make it happen, definitely, yeah. But yeah, again, I'd love to do that, and vice versa. Really, if anybody wanted to come over here and do the same, yeah, I'd be more than happy to accommodate.
Now, if there was any wrestlers, pro wrestlers, or even independent wrestlers in the U.S. or that's wrestling outside of the U.S., what wrestlers would you like to have come and wrestle in your promotion?
So, I mean, I think I'd love to have, you know, Nick Nemeth come down,
Oh yeah, yeah,
come wrestle, man. Nick's amazing. Um, I'd probably like to. I'd like to have RVD as well. If RVD ever went on the Indies and came over here, I'd
yeah.
definitely love to have RVD come down, man. That'd be class. Especially, you know, with me trying to push and grow a sort of ECW-esque promotion.
Right, right.
Having RVD come down, that just blow my mind.
Yeah, that's what's up. And it's cool that you talked about Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth was, to me, WWE. I think they dropped the ball on him. I think that he should have been a champion that had a serious run, even though he was a two-time world heavyweight champion. I really didn't think they took him serious, and he was definitely one of their best workers.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Definitely didn't have his, you know, the chance he deserved as a champion. But as I was saying, as it got cut off, um, even Christian had a similar sort of run. I believed in Christian a lot, and I think he had a lot more to offer as well as the top guy in WWE, as well as the mid carder, or you know, or the tag team of Edge. There was definitely a lot more to Christian, and I've always been a fan of Christian as well. So it's the same situation with Nick.
Yeah. And I know he's the champion. I know he just won a championship over in New Japan
Yeah.
not too long ago. But I think he's gonna have a good run in the Indies and TNA as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, he deserves it, and I'm glad that he's got on the Indies and he's stayed wrestling. You know, I'm sure he's more than comfortable now. You know, financially in his own life, he didn't have to. I'm sure he doesn't have to come and wrestle on the Indies or anything like that. But if he does, you know, that just shows his love and passion for it. Much like you know, Matt Cardona as well. So
Yeah, yeah,
um, you know, it's crazy how much they love it. As I say, I'm sure they don't need to do it, you know, but they do it because they love it, and that just shows everything really.
definitely. Is there any tag teams that you would like to work with and have on on your show?
Um, to be honest with you, not off the top of my head. Um, I can't really think of any off the top of my head, to be honest. Other than what we've got over here in the UK, but you know, we've already had some of the great tag teams in the UK on over here. So yeah, I'll come back to you on that one.
Cool, no problem, no problem. So I know earlier in the show we talked about just the football scene in the UK, just the sports
Yeah,
scene, period. The wrestling scene in the UK, as far as like, you know, the WWE shows, the AEW shows, like WWE has been doing shows in UK for years, and AEW, you know, not just last year they had the All Out pay-per-view there. What was it? All In, right?
yeah, all in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All In. Okay, yeah, and that did crazy numbers. And
yeah.
what do you think about the pro wrestling scene in the UK? Like, do you think that All In should be an event that is just held in the UK, or do you think do you see a WrestleMania coming to the UK?
um, with All In just being in the UK, I don't think it really matters as such whether it's called All In. As long as AEW do keep coming over the UK and bringing us to these shows, man, they can be called whatever. If they want to hold the All In pay per view in the US or somewhere else, then that's fine. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have the exclusive All In held in the UK. That'd be quite cool. But generally, as long as they keep coming over here, we'll be happy to have whatever, really. In regards to WrestleMania, there's been a lot of talk over the years, lots of talk about WrestleMania, trying to come over to Wembley and stuff like that. I know we've had Clash at the Castle not so long ago, which was in Cardiff in Wales. That filled 75,000 stadium. So, there's definitely potential there. It's just, I think it's more on them than anything else to hold the WrestleMania name in a country that's not the US.
Sweet. If oh, sorry. And AEW, who are some of the big top stars there, or who is everyone in the UK? Who are they talking about?
In the top stars, I think Darby Allin is I think he is a diamond in the dirt there, definitely. I know you got Ricky Starks and that as well, but Darby Allin shines for me. I think there's a lot to him, and I think obviously other than MJF and that, I'd like to see Darby Allin do more and be more as well at some stage in his career.
Yeah, and Will Ospreay seems like he's real big over in the UK also.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, of course he's. Yeah, obviously he's a British, and he's doing his thing over there, which is great. Obviously, I know that AEW have got Zack Knight now, which is Saraya's brother. Zack and the Knight family are also huge family over here as well, and everyone's always behind them, and the country and the wrestling community is always behind them people, because they're sort of our own, as you would say. So yeah, definitely, we're always behind our guys, no matter what, really.
Yeah, no, oh yeah. So yeah, you mentioned Saraya. Her family is a real big wrestling family down in the UK, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
because her mother, her father, and her brother wrestle, right?
Both the brothers and nephews wrestle as well. So it's just a generational beast for the Knight family.
So would you say that they're kind of like what the Hart family is to Canada?
Yeah, you could say that in a lot of respects. Yeah, definitely. They haven't made a movie about them for nothing, have they? So,
sweet.
You know what I mean? It's obviously fighting with my family was all about the Knight family, and obviously, Saraya's, journey to success as a British female wrestler. So, yeah, definitely, 100%.
Sweet. Okay, real quick. Tonight is the AEW pay-per-view. Of course, Sting is having this last match with Darby Allin. They're defending the tag belts against the Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Are you looking forward? Are you gonna watch the pay-per-view tonight? And if so, what matches are you looking forward to?
To be honest with you, I'll probably watch it in the morning, but obviously the one I'm a bit looking forward to most is to see Sting, and do his thing one last time. If it is his last time, you never know. There's no such thing as retirement in wrestling unless you're dead.
Right.
So but yeah, definitely the Sting match would be the one. Again, going over, it's great that he's with Derby as well. I think Derby, there's a lot more to Derby, and he's got a lot for his career. There's a lot to be said for him, and I think he's got a massive career ahead of him.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Sting's final match. He's been one of my favorites growing up. Still one of my favorites. I'm looking forward to the three-way match with Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, Hangman.
Yeah,
I don't see Samoa Joe losing the belt after just winning it in December, but Swerve Strickland is hot right now, so
yeah,
they might make that decision to just put the belt on him. And I'm interested to see what happens with Will Ospreay and Takeshita. I think that's going to be a good match. I think Will Ospreay, I don't think he's going to be in the Callis family for too long. And I think if you saw Dynamite, that they already are like kind of showing that he's not going to be with them for too long.
Yeah, definitely. That's another one to look forward to. There's some. It's a great card, really, especially if you're an AEW fan.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So what are you thinking about this whole bloodline story that's going on in WWE?
I think eventually, I think The Rock will turn eventually.
I say the same thing.
And do his
I
thing.
see it like just the mannerisms is just like
Yeah,
something is about to happen. And
yeah,
I don't know if you noticed that every time that he's with the bloodline and they put the
yeah,
ones up, he always put an L up.
yeah.
He did it this week.
Exactly.
He did it this Friday, and I think he did it like 2-3 weeks ago when he was on SmackDown. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
There's
definitely.
definitely going to be something.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a swerve. I think Seth Rollins could possibly swerve Cody, and then
Yeah,
I think The Rock could possibly swerve Roman. So
yeah.
yeah, it's always they definitely doing a good job of like putting twists and turns to this bloodline story.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm glad they've put the Rock in there with them as well. I think it's added to the story definitely by bringing letting the Rock have that run with the bloodline. His genuine family. That's a good thing as well. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna have this. He's not gonna have this run and end it as a heel. Definitely not.
Yeah. And then it's like, even with Seth Rollins, like he's putting himself into this storyline, and then he got his own storyline going. So WrestleMania is looking real interesting. And then you
Yeah,
got the Bailey and Io Sky storyline. Dakota Kai finally turned. If anybody
yeah,
didn't see that she was gonna turn on Bailey with when she had called herself, having Bailey's back. I
yeah,
said, man, she's about to turn on her. It's just a matter of when.
yeah. Definitely. Yeah, there's lots to look forward to, man. It's good, and the Bloodline storyline has been the best storyline. Some will probably argue forever,
Yeah,
but it's definitely in the recent years. Absolutely, it's literally been movie like. It's been really good.
definitely. And is it a match that they haven't announced yet that you would like to see on the WrestleMania card?
Um, I'd like to see what happens with the Intercontinental Championship. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
you
because it's
know,
like he's beating everybody.
yeah,
So it's like, who's next? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But something that I had read something, and I think this would probably make sense. I wouldn't mind seeing him going up against Chad Gable again, because he never
yeah,
necessarily didn't lose to Chad Gable, and Chad Gable didn't necessarily lose to Gunther. If
yeah.
I don't, yeah. So that could be a good match too, and the match that they had on Raw was very good also.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. That'd be cool as well. But yeah, I'd like to see what happens with that. It's like who's next, and is that dominant? It's yeah, something needs to make sense before he does lose the title. But I can't see him losing it for a good while still.
Yeah. But I think it's at like he's beaten everybody and defended the title. It's like at this point, it's time for him to put himself into that world title mix now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, 100%. He's definitely got it about him, hasn't he? He's
Yeah.
definitely he can definitely be up there, can't he?
I would like to see him be the world champion and then finally stop letting the other guys from Imperium fight against each other and get serious and be the tag team champions. I would like to see all
Yeah,
three of them with
yeah,
championships.
definitely. Yeah, that'd be good. That would definitely work. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and then hopefully somewhere down the line, WWE figure out the whole tag team situation because I'm so
Yeah,
tired of the undisputed tag belts. It's like
yeah,
give Raw their own belts, give SmackDown their own belts, so they can both have their own division, and because you got
yeah,
some good tag teams on both brands.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. 100%. I agree.
So is there any watching AEW, WWE, or even NXT, TNA? Are there any superstars that you are favorites of right now, or are you saying that could be are up and coming?
Um, in regards to up and coming, obviously, again, mention it again. Derby's up there. I'd look. I think we need to see more from Hook as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
definitely.
I think I think there'll be I think there will be more to Hook as well. Eventually. He's definitely. I think he's definitely got a lot about him as well. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, I think everyone's eyes are on Cody Rhodes, and if he's finally going to get that chance to win the big one.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, what do you think his chances look like as far as winning and finishing that story?
At this WrestleMania, I'm not sure about this WrestleMania. I think they might do something to prevent that from happening at this one, and I think he will win it, but I think it'll be after WrestleMania. However, I do think they will finish this WrestleMania on a high. I do think in some way. But yeah, definitely. Maybe not this one, but it's definitely coming. 100%.
Yeah, yeah, I agree too because it's just like it's still for me with this storyline having so many twists and turns is really you can't really say that he's gonna win it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, and again, you don't know what's going to happen with The Rock as well. You don't know what's going to happen there, whether there's something going to happen there at WrestleMania as well, and you just don't know, yeah. So yeah, definitely, everyone's always on Cody Rhodes at the moment, but yeah, maybe not this WrestleMania, but it's definitely coming soon.
yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. Well, Bam, thank you. Sorry we had some technical difficulties,
No problem.
but it was definitely great having you on the show. First international guest.
Thank you.
Um, is it anything that you want to plug that I can, help you push out to maybe some
Yeah,
of my
so
followers?
whoever's listening or watching, just check out our page, man. OTC Wrestling, off the chain wrestling in the UK. Just give us a like and follow us.
Sweet, sweet. Well, once again, thank you. This is another episode of Wrestling from the 313, the 10th episode, first international episode. I'm your host, Mike D. Holla at you soon. Peace.